Hey there, my awesome artists. So last week you guys reviewed your primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. We learned that our primary colors make our secondary colors. And so what we're going to do this week is we're going to be working with our secondary colors. All right, which are green, purple, and orange. And what better way to do that than with some pumpkins? Since we're going into fall and we've got these fun holidays coming up, we're going to start seeing pumpkins everywhere. So we're going to do our next lesson with pumpkins. Now we're going to start step one, or I guess part one of the lesson today, and then you will continue the lesson next week. All right, so what I'm going to ask that you do is hold on to your artwork for today. Please maybe put it in a folder. Maybe you can have an art folder and keep it in there until next week. All right, so since this lesson is not going to be completed today, you also do not need to take a picture of your artwork and submit it. You do not need to submit anything in Schoology this week. I will tell you when you're going to do that, so don't worry about that step. All right, so we're going to get started. All you're going to need for this part of the lesson is a black crayon or something to draw with, and we're going to actually save these for later. And the only two colors you're going to be using today is red and yellow, because we're actually going to make the color orange. All right, so I know you have already a pre-made orange crayon, but we're not going to use it. We are going to practice mixing our two colors to make our orange. All right, so I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin. I'm going to actually show you how to draw 3 pumpkins on your paper today. Depending on how big or small your paper is, that's going to be the size of your pumpkins, but we are going to draw 3 pumpkins today. All right, and you don't have to worry too much about staying inside the lines today, because next time we're going to cut out our pumpkins from this paper. So our pumpkins are not going to stay on this paper. We're actually going to cut them out. All right, so let's get started. The first part to drawing your pumpkin is to create an oval. So, and what I love about pumpkins, boys and girls, is that pumpkins come in all different sizes. Some are big, some are small, some are skinnier, some are longer, wider. All right, you cannot go wrong with drawing a pumpkin. All right, so you're going to draw an oval. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this kind of curved line on the other side. Now you want to bring your curved line out a little bit, because if you make it really skinny, then you're not going to be able to color in your pumpkin. All right, so I'm going to bring the line out and make it touch the bottom of this pumpkin, this oval right here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so there's one pumpkin, and I'm going to give it a stump by giving it a little pancake and then 2 straight lines. You can curve them if you want to give them more shape. So our pumpkin looks a little 3-dimensional. So there's one pumpkin. Now I'm going to make a second pumpkin, and maybe this pumpkin I want it to be a little wider. So I'm going to draw my oval, and I'm going to bring my curved line out a little bit more. Like a backwards C, or a C, and then that's a backwards C. All right, it's all about breaking up your drawings into simple shapes or letters or lines. That helps you draw. And then another pancake and some curved lines. All right, so you see my pumpkins are all a little different. So maybe this last pumpkin, I want it to be maybe a really long, skinny pumpkin. So that means my oval would be skinnier and longer. All right, I'm going to come on the right side and on the left side. And there I go. There is my really tall, little skinny pumpkin. Okay. All right, so we've got our 3 pumpkins, and now what we're going to do is we are going to color our pumpkins. You can either start with red or you can start with yellow. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and start with red. And this is the perfect time to practice your coloring, trying to stay inside the lines. But you know what? If you accidentally color outside the lines, no big deal, because we are going to cut out these pumpkins. So all you're going to do for this next step is color in your pumpkins with either red or yellow. And I'm going to try to color a little bit faster because I know you guys are at home watching me, but as I'm working, please feel free to start coloring your pumpkins. And of course, if I wanted to, I could use the color orange, right? But I don't want to. I want you guys to practice color mixing today. So no cheating, boys and girls. Make sure that you are actually mixing your red and your yellow to make orange. Filling in all the white spaces. All right, and now on to my last pumpkin. So you don't want to make your pumpkins too small, boys and girls, just because you want to be able to really color and mix your colors. And the smaller your pumpkins are, it might be a little bit of a challenge to really color them. But I know that we're practicing and we're learning. If you've never drawn a pumpkin before, well then it takes some time and it takes some practice. So I completely understand that part. You can always practice drawing your pumpkins first. All right, so, and also draw them in pencil. I went straight to my crayon. And I forgot one color we are going to use is brown for our stumps. Okay, and now is the fun, color magic. All right, now I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to see if I can make orange. Yep, it's doing what I knew it would do. It's turning orange. Look at that. How cool. That's why colors are just so awesome. You can mix with them and make new colors. So now we're making our secondary color, which is orange. Sometimes you have to play around with the colors, and if you think it looks too yellow, well then you might have to add a little bit more red. All right? You just have to kind of play around and explore. And as you notice, boys and girls, I really try to color in sections, try to color little areas at a time instead of just coloring all over, because I notice that when I do that, I miss some spaces and I might leave some white areas. So it's always best to try to color in sections or in little areas at a time. All right, so got my 2 pumpkins, and now I'm on to my very last pumpkin. You might have to press down hard, which is what I'm doing, to really, really mix those colors. Red is a really strong color, so if you used yellow first and then went over it with red, you might notice the red is just really standing out, and maybe your pumpkin's not looking orange like you want it. So that just means you got to really, really use maybe a little bit more yellow towards the end to turn it orange. All right, guys, so there are my 3 pumpkins ready to go for next week. So just once again, please remember to hold on to your pumpkins, place them in an art folder maybe, and save them for next week when we complete the lesson. All right, so we're gonna do step 2 or part 2 of the lesson next week. So again, you do not have to turn anything in. I hope you enjoyed this first part of the lesson, boys and girls, and I will see you next week. Bye. Bye.